The NHL is terrified of this San Jose Sharks team as their mix of young and old talent continues to dominate game in and game out. In this video, we're going to break down some astonishing feats from some of their young players, talk about how they can keep this rolling and what their keys to their success have been so far this season, and ultimately come to the decision if they're going to get into the playoffs this year. So you're not going to want to miss this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we dive into everything, we're on the road for 19,000 subscribers here on the channel, so you want to stay up to date on everything Sharks, everything around the league, especially with the Olympics coming up. We're going to be your home for it here on YouTube. So make sure down below and hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. But with that said, we got to dive right into this because the San Jose Sharks, oh boy, what a start to the season they have had. They have been probably one of the most fun teams to watch this season in my eyes, with Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith having some insane starts to the year, and it doesn't seem like there's any slowing down for these players. But last night, big win against the Utah Mammoth, put them in the wild card picture, I believe, for, one of the first times this season. They kind of bouncing in and out of that picture at this point. But, as of last night, they are in the playoffs. So great to see. And a big night last night, if you're watching that game, was from the sleepover line. And if you're not sure of the sleepover line, we're going to talk about them here now. That's Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, and Tyler Toffoli. Obviously, we all know the infamous story of the sleepover where, they all scored and Toffoli had to stay in their hotel room, and now that line, they have a great story behind the line, and it's just one of the most fun lines to watch in this league. I mean, Smith last night with a beautiful, toe drag goal. 1 goal, 1 assist. I'm actually going to pull it up on the screen for you guys last night because he had an astonishing game last night. And as you see here, look, goes between the legs, and then he goes back, backhand, forehand, pops it in the back of the net. Will Smith has been electric this year for this team, and obviously Macklin Celebrini, a big guy who we're going to talk about here, had 3 apples last night, with Toffoli netting 2 goals, 1 assist. The line's on fire. One of the most electric lines in hockey. Fun team to watch. It's great to see these guys get in the gear, and they're only in their second season, Smith and Celebrini, and they're putting up some insane numbers this year. And we're going to dive right into that, and that's Macklin Celebrini. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He becomes the 8th youngest player in NHL history to reach 100 points, doing it at just 19 years old and 169 days. Nice. Great to see Mac, get on here and get on that list. Definitely deserved. I mean, he's been playing some insane hockey since the Four Nations break last year, and there's no stopping him right now. I mean, he's currently second for points in the league, which we're going to get into a little bit. But first, I do want to talk about this other insane stat. If he's too hard on the eyes, I'll break it down for you. This is the fewest games for a teenager to reach 40 points in a season. Macklin Celebrini did that in 27 games, as we see that last night. He got to that threshold of 40 points, and he now is tied with Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux for the shortest games by a teenager to reach 40 points. That is some elite company, if you ask me. Two of the league's great players in Gretzky and Lemieux, you are putting your name up there with them. I mean, this is great for news for San Jose Sharks fans, as we see him, we've always seen him on these lists with the greats in this league, but seeing him up there with Lemieux and Gretzky, I mean, that just speaks volumes of how good of a player this kid is, how good of a player he is going to be in the future. This is only his 2nd year in the league, and everybody talks about sophomore slump. Sophomore slump who? When it comes to Macklin Celebrini, he's having a tremendous season, and it's just great to see him, continue to dominate. Him and Nathan MacKinnon neck and neck right now in that point trace as we bring it up. MacKinnon 4 points over him at 44 in 25 games. Absolutely ridiculous stuff from Nathan MacKinnon. But Macklin Celebrini, Connor Bedard, Leo Carlson, how about that? 3 young stars in this league, bang, 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 one after the other. It's great to see. I think it's great for the future of this league, showing how these teenagers, and some players, in their very early 20s, are competing with the likes of Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon this early in the season. Can they keep it up is the big question around it, but at this point, it kind of seems like it, doesn't it? It's just great to see that. And another thing I did want to note about Macklin Celebrini is he's currently first among all players in assists with 26, putting him one over Connor McDavid. So He's beaten out everybody in the league in one stat category, which is great to see. Obviously, we know Celebrini, great 200-foot player, great goal scorer, and elite playmaker. This guy has hands like butter. I mean, I love watching this guy play. I mean, I'm on the East Coast, and, you know, these games come on like 11:30, 12 a.m. my time, and I'd stay up and watch these games because they're just such a fun team to watch and such a fun team to root for. You know, I'm so excited for you Sharks fans that you get to witness this, you know, in your home state, hopefully, and get to go to these games because it's great to watch. And I did want to switch gears here to back to Macklin Celebrini. This is a different stat category here. This is goals above expected. This is basically what it means is he's these 5 goals above what they expected him to have at this point in the season. And you see his goals per 60 here at 1.5, his assists per 60 at 2.8, which is ridiculous, and his points per 60 at 4.39. These are obviously great stats for a young player in this league. I mean, he just keeps going on, breaking these records, and we're going to dive into the dynamic duo of Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini here, because this stat, you know, it's another one of those stats where they put themselves up with some of the league greats, right? Like, this is the points on the same goal. This is the most instances before the age of 21 all time. And obviously, both these players are both 19, I believe, as of now. And they have 40 points on the same goal each, which puts them up there with Curry and Gretzky, Coffey and Gretzky, and Kane and Taves. Obviously, the most notable, recent duo of all time is Kane and Taves. And it looks like Celebrini and Smith are well on their way to passing this and surpassing this record, potentially by the end of the season, and it just shows like how good they've been playing. I mean, you know, we see their points game to game on the stats, you know, if you can't tune into every game, and like, wow, these guys are electric. But when you put it all together here and you see the points on the same goal, and they're only 24 points away from the all-time record, and these guys are only 19. I mean, this is for people under 21. So they have multiple years to keep padding this record, and it just shows how good of a connection that these two players have. Obviously, they're great friends off the ice, which transitions to their great play on the ice, and you love to see it because, you know, not only Macklin Celebrini is thriving, Will Smith and Tyler Toffoli are thriving off of his success and having their own success off of that, which is great to see. And I did want to dive into Will Smith a little bit here, as he is also having a tremendous season. I mean, right now, he's 23rd in goals above expected. He has 27 points on the year, point per game player at this point. And like I said, with Macklin Celebrini, this is 3 goals above what he was expected to have so far this season, and he's averaging about 3 points per 60 minutes, which is great to see as well. Point per game player at this point in the season, and it just seems like he's only going to go up from there. I think he's going to finish the season, I think, in the 90s, I would say. I mean, Macklin Celebrini is on pace for 121 points this season, so it's just great to see these two guys, you know, keep going, and they're not slowing down by any means. And another guy who is maybe getting overshadowed by how good these young forwards are playing is Yaroslav Askarov. In his first full year as a starter, he is now 8-1-1 in his last 10 games at home in the Shark Tank, with his 13th win of the season coming last night. He's the 10th, Yaroslav Askarov's 10th win of the season, which leads all rookie goaltenders. Obviously, that was the Sharks' 13th win, and Askarov's 10th. Now in number 1 in the wild card spot. And I mean, Askarov has been having a tremendous season. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look at the numbers: 10 wins, like we just mentioned, with a 2.96 GAA and a 910 save percentage. He has been lights out. He's been making some incredible stops. He's, I believe, averaging like 4 or 5 saves above expected so far this season. He's just been lights out. He's been a sponge in the net for this team, and has, you know, been one of the reasons this team has, you know, been so successful is his play in the net, stopping the goals that should go in, or just making the routine saves. I mean, yes, his GAA is almost 3, but the Sharks are going out there, they're getting 3 or 4 a night, so it's not that bad. And I mean, his save percentage is still high, and I think as a young goaltender in this league, it is great to see that. It's only his first full year. There's still a lot more to come for Yaroslav Askarov, and I think by the end of this year, when the numbers are finally in, we will see him around that 9-10 save percentage, and people are going to be like, wow, we got to take note of Askarov here in San Jose. It's not just, the young guns in Celebrini and Smith getting it done for this team, and I just love seeing this. I love seeing this Sharks team back. I know it brings me back to the days of Pavelski and Thornton and all those guys in San Jose. But, it's a different era, Joe Thornton was that big, powerful guy, but now you got two guys who got hands like silk and can make plays happen, and that's what you love to see. And before I end this video, I did want to touch on their point leaders right now. I did want to touch on Dmitry Orlov, who right now has 15 assists. I mean, what a pickup for this San Jose Sharks team in the offseason. A guy who just came in, and, we expected him to be that defensive defenseman that we all know from Orlov, the guy who really contributed to the Washington Capitals Cup run. How many years ago that was now? A good few, as of today. And it's great to see him come into this young core. Same with Ryan Reeves. I mean, he's not doing much point, but the leadership that Revo has brought to this team has really brought the group together, and the whole group has bought into saying, hey, we're not going to go at bottom of the barrel this year. We want to fight, and we want to get our way into the wild card spot. And it all comes with great leadership, great play, and just a team playing as a whole. And that's what is so terrifying about the Sharks right now, is their team is playing as a comprehensive unit. And when you have that, it is very hard to stop. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Sharks down below in the comment section. As of now, I have the Sharks in the playoffs. There's no doubt in my mind that they can keep this play up and even play even better in my eyes. So, love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. If they're going to make the playoffs, what moves are you making to make this team even better? Love to hear from you guys. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. You're going to stay up to date on everything happening around the league when you do so. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.